Won on this ground since 1976, and they had a very good team that year. They've come close, but never since then have they won on this park. And Hadley Parks with the early opportunity just to clear down towards halfway. Hasn't put it into touch. Papuali has got it to Dixon. Good line of defence from Auckland, but he's strong, Dixon. And now Alika tries to make another meter. Romans snatches it away. Papuali tries a little stab kick into space, but well read. And Auckland have an opportunity to counter here. Wakasa Duadua stepping up the middle. Good to see him back playing rugby in New Zealand. Very elusive winger. Now Anscombe, grubber kicking through. Sitting up nicely though. And Dixon slams it off down towards the Auckland 22. Anscombe dropping back. Tries a high one, just being carried on the breeze a little bit too far to be able to be challenged. And Papuali tries another.
Release.
Gets it away. Some good support here from Gareth Evans. And the offload collected too by Ibn Jubair. So here's Otago on the charge early in the second half. Alika setting it just a few metres short of the 22. Romans, off it goes to Brown, switching play. Gareth Evans again. Otago in danger of losing this though. Auckland look interested. No, here it comes off. No, hands on. Holding on, in fact.
Blue sealed.
So again, sounds like a multiple offence in there. Hands on, sealing it off.
Yeah, just a couple of aimless kicks there by Auckland. First by Parks, and then Anscombe really, well, nothing kicked. The grubber was okay, but this led and gave Otago a chance to counter-attack. And just little pop passes in contact till the turnover came right here.
Some real concerns in the contact just before that. Chris Lowry, the medic, was straight out there. He's on his feet. Not far from 100 though.
Yeah, it looks like that right eye might be closing up a little bit. And a big kick downfield from Anscombe.
That's a great kick.
Well, Grant, this is what you'll expect from Auckland in the second half, isn't it? With the wind at their back, I don't think Otago really took advantage of that, but this is home for Auckland, home for this bloke, and you'd expect them to plug the corners and keep Otago camped in this part of the field.
Field possession, build pressure. So Wakasa Duadua tucked in behind Anscombe as Lowry trundles back into position.
Not looking great, has to be said. Townsend wins it. Moreland fires it flat, but collected by Ibn Jubair. The captain boots it away downfield. Parks going back, collects it, gets away from Jubair, straightens, just taken around the ankles by Joe Hill. And Moreland gets it away to Anscombe, off to Rokothoko. This time putting the kick away and bouncing it just in from touch. Not a bad result in the end. He did have some players outside him, but went for the kick, and he's taken play down inside the 22.
Well, it was just as well he executed the kick well, because there was an opportunity on the right-hand side. And I would say they're under clear instruction, Auckland. We've got to win, to plug the corners and build some pressure from there.
So Liam Coltman it is with the throw. Auckland managed to steal a couple off Otago late in the first half. Not that time. Romans pushing it down the touchline. And that's not a bad clearance either. Ben Skeen with the flag up on the far side. That's a good kick. From well inside his 22 up to halfway. Dixon, that time not taken cleanly by Josh Townsend, so it'll be an Otago scrum.
Well, that's the second one against the throw that Auckland have made a mistake on. And their line out is usually pretty efficient, and so is Otago's. In fact, they're operating at over 100% in round one, and by that I mean they steal enough opposition throws as well as winning their own. That means they win more than 100%.
I give some credit there to Tom Donnelly. He got up, he read that nicely, just got in front of Townsend, disrupted the possession.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Straight back line for Otago. Pop up at
Stay bouncy,
Ali,
mate.
straight outside Tony Brown.
Romans off it goes to Tony Brown. Flat ball away to Ben Artinga. Taken around the ankles by Stanaway. The quick switch to the left. Romans. Now Hubert gets rid of it. Alika
Roll 6.
onto him quickly though. Ball held up off the ground. Now Case Muse comes
Play
in.
advantage. 4 white
Makes a
offside.
metre or two on his knees. They've got the advantage.
4 white offside.
So maybe here an opportunity for Glenn Dixon. I'm pretty sure they'll have a crack at goal here, and he could close it up again.
Yeah, Richard Haddon's shaking his head, but he was definitely offside.
Tony, they're just concerned here with the strength of the breeze. As I've said, it's come and gone all evening, but
Well, he's powerful enough, Dixon, isn't he? You would think so.
it's just starting to get up, so he's going to have to push it into the breeze, Grant.
And look there, see Haddon, he was never onside. Needed to retreat another couple of metres before he could put himself in play.
I do like the way Garrett Williamson's been policing the breakdown. I think he made it clear right from the word go. He wants the teams to get quick ball. He's not going to tolerate players coming in the side, mucking around. He wants them rolling away quickly, and the game will prosper if the players take heed.
Well, the breakdown has been pretty good though, hasn't it?
Yep.
And that is the attitude of the teams as well as the way Garrett Williamson's refereeing the game.
Oh yeah, you talk to the refs and they say it's all about the attitude of the players. You make their job easy or difficult. This is a difficult kick. It's out 46 metres away, and he's got a bit of a breeze to contend with, but he's got a powerful boot, and the distance is okay. It's over. That's a very good kick. That's his best of the night, Glenn Dixon. His teammates appreciate it, and Otago close it up to 3.
Yeah, first blood in the second half to Otago. They've been struggling for field position. First opportunity when Auckland transgressed, Dixon took 3 points.
4th penalty of the night for Glenn Dixon. Anscombe pushing it down to the 22. TJ Ioane held onto that one, dropped one in the first half. Off it goes to Brown. Puts it high off the left foot. Lowry underneath it and took it pretty well. In fact, it was Moreland took it and found Lowry in the end. And good support from the Auckland forwards too. Well, Polwart carrying it over the 22. Good run from the young flanker. Off to Anscombe. Now Tarval, I should say. Moving it wide, and Rokafoko coming into the line off a neat in pass there from Hadley Parks, but they've lost it. Romans has it. He's scragged by Parks. Not happy about losing possession.
No.
Auckland, but Otago have got it. Sam Giddens goes into play. Halfback Tony Brown under a bit of pressure too. And gets it away, and gets it away pretty well.
Just the wrong option on that attack by Joe Rokafoko. He needed to stay on the outside rather than get an in-pass. The in-pass that went straight back into the cover defence of Otago and allowed Joubert to get the turnover.
Ash Dixon will throw to the line out. Hooker from the University Club, your old club here in Auckland, Foxy.
Top of the pops at the moment, TJ here.
Got it away now to Stanley, just held on to it and almost wriggled himself through a bit of a hole. Now hit up nicely by Josh Townsend.
No 10.
Eventually Milo comes in and plays halfback, and now Angus Tarval. Tight head properly. He's had 1 or 2 problems at scrum time, but he's a big strong man to advance the ball, over 124 kgs. Daniel Braid now off to Townsend. So Auckland looking to build. They're very careful there not to play the ball, but he's got Otago for slowing it down anyway.
7 on the side.
Well, and it's taken quickly by Moreland. Tarval caught just short of the line. Otago having to defend here as Auckland go looking for their 3rd try. Dixon takes it, moves it on nicely to Haddon. Can he get it down? He's just short. Only just short. Now he's got to let it go. Moreland tries to fire it away, and this is trouble for Alika.
He knows it too.
No, easy. There you go.
Well, he's got plenty of time to stop his nose bleeding now. I think he's going to spend 10 in the bin. Yep, into the pocket.
Deliver it, so cool, where you go. They killed it on our line.
You know you're in trouble when you're already defending yourself. He's still on the ground now, Leka defending himself.
He just sat down by the goalpost pad, didn't he? Didn't get up, didn't want to draw attention to himself.
Last thing I need is 4 or 5 guys.
Well, it's going to be a tough 10 minutes coming up now.
Well, at the moment it looks a good decision by him, even though it was cynical,
Yeah,
because
that's
it'll
not
give
the thing I'm
3,
saying, but I'll take
but
the
I
place.
think there was
I'll take
perhaps
place.
more in the offing here.
The only thing I'd say here was he took
Held
a
on
fair
a bit
while
long,
to
didn't
squeeze
he?
that ball back between his legs, and I think just for a moment you sense that Otago could have got a penalty. In the end they didn't, went the other way, and let's see what the consequences prove to be. Already 3 points down as a result, and Auckland restore their 6-point advantage. So second penalty goal of the night by Gareth Anscombe to go with his conversion. Brown expertly pushing it into the breeze, and it's come back on the Otago side too. Ioane, out it goes to Tony Brown, and he has a little dart too. Glances off the first tackle but then loses possession. In fact, the referee says it wasn't knocked on, actually came back from Auckland hands. So Otago get a chance to have a real crack here now. Giddens stepping and wheeling nicely. Sam Giddens, he's got support with him in the form of Donnelly. Couldn't find him with the pass. Milau chucks it back, but Tom Donnelly's there to swoop on Stanaway. Just 5 metres out from the line. Toby Moreland can see it. And back it goes to Anscombe. Just gets it onto the right foot and clears away up towards the 22. A nice little bust there from Sam Giddens.
Yeah, it's pretty nifty footwork, wasn't it? I mean, it was poor defence by Auckland, but Giddens took advantage. Guy slipping over was Ta'avau, I think, then pushing away from Braid. His tackling efficiency is down a little bit at the moment, and then Milau needed to settle things down and didn't.
Well, if he'd found Tom Donnelly with the pass, I don't think he would have got all the way to the line, but they would have had a great momentum on. Still get the line out throw. But it's not a good one. Oh, now TJ Ioane's just come straight through the middle of it, and he's going to score, is he? He's real close. Yes! Well, it looked like they'd made a complete muck-up of the line-out, and suddenly TJ Ioane surging through. And boy, he likes that first try for Otago.
Yeah, doesn't he? And he looks like a guy who's really enthusiastic. He's working hard. He's made a couple of mistakes, but boy, that try makes up for it. So it was a mucked up line-out throw. It might have actually been knocked on.
Yes,
but
exactly what I was going to say, Grant. It certainly came off the Otago hand, but Ioane, the recipient, and he showed good leg drive too, didn't he, to finish it off. Good pace initially, and look at that, just pumps the legs, good determination.
Well, poor defence by Wakasindua and also Anscombe. Good aggression though by Ioane from a wee knock on, took advantage of it. So Dixon will perhaps put Otago in the lead.
Here's 18-17 with the kick to come. Yes, well, there might have been an element of luck about it, but he still took it very well. A powerful surge. Fans trying to set up a bit of a din, banging the hoardings. But not deterred. Very good kick from Glenn Dixon to put Otago in front 19-18. Still 26 to play, but TJ Ioane has got his team in front.
Fresh legs too for Otago, fellas. Rob Rubakel in jersey 18 replacing Daniel Ramsey.
Oh, so far, Aulika's sin binning. They're ahead. And Ioane has another bash at them. So they conceded 3, but now they've scored. Auckland might have turned this over. No, they haven't. Back to Brown. Boy, how he would love a win here tonight. Chris Lowry not taking that cleanly. Doesn't look right. Parks decides to have a go, and he's isolated now. He could be in a bit of trouble here because Otago have got numbers on the ball. Yep, it just had to happen, didn't it? Well, Auckland just suddenly taking their eyes off the prize here, and now Dixon is going to come up and have another shot to try and put his team 4 points in front.
And it's also got to be said with a man in the bin, Aulika, so how good is his decision looking now?
It's looking like a stroke of genius,
Yeah,
Foxy.
exactly. So Lowry never looked comfortable, and well, not a good decision by Parks. Mind you, Lowry really should have just carried it forward. The Otago defence closed quickly because Lowry didn't take it cleanly. So Parks was under all sorts of pressure.
He did have a couple of players outside him as an option though, Parks, and the 50-50 decision ended up being the wrong one.
So Dixon, just to the right of the posts. Has not missed so far tonight. And still hasn't missed. 22-18. Otago in front, despite the fact that they've still only got 14 on the field.
So what's going on the sub bench, Richard? There's got to be some movement.
Yeah, a little bit of movement on the Otago bench, not a lot on the Auckland bench. Or just as I say that, Steve Devine's gone to the mic.
Well, Papali'i belted that straight back down to the 22 where Parks returned fire, but he's put it out just short of halfway, and so Otago have the line-out throw.
Count the numbers, please.
So some communication between Donnelly and Brown. So Donnelly, the line-out caller.
Slap down on the Otago side. Romans gets it away to Brown, and as always, quite happy to just charge it up to the defensive line if there's nothing else on. Gareth Evans, they step over that. Romans, Brown, and he'll try and keep them plugged back, but that one has been miscued. And it's gone out on the full.
Otago claiming it was touched.
Yeah, not happy about that, Tony Brown. Yeah, well, conversation. Garrett Williamson, I think he was buying the argument, so they do go back downfield. And it will be an Otago throw.
Yeah, well, the touch judge clearly knew it was touched. Just must have grazed Anskin's left elbow, I think.
Well, the confusing thing was he just stood at the mark where it went out on the full with his arm favouring Otago. But that didn't make sense either.
Well, they've got it from the line out, and Brown quickly moves it on to Giddens. Here it comes again, Romans. Off it goes to Verbuckle, the replacement forward. Case Muse. Boy, how he'd love to win this one. Off it goes to Ioane, and his powerful running is really starting to cause some problems. Romans, away it goes to Brown, quickly on, lovely hands, Joe Hills. He's taken, they're only 10 metres from the line, not even that. Off it goes to Brown, chance to fling it wide. Atinga now, on it goes to Giddens, to Dixon, bumps off the first tackle, scores! Now they can sense it.
Oh, and so they should. So that started with a good line and a good clearance by Romans. Got the ball quickly. So they hit in the middle. They kept going the same way. Got in behind on the far side, did Otago, and Brown swung it all the way back. So this was off the first ruck. After one ruck, this is the second ruck. Same way again. That's Joe Hill, isn't it? Got in behind. And it's a long pass here by Brown. Atinga brought Anscombe in. And that's poor defence by Wakasan Duadua. Good footwork by Dixon. He's accumulated a fair number of points.
Well, a classic situation, isn't it, Grant? You can have the best system in the world. It only takes one kink in that system to let it down, and that was the case here. Simple one-on-one missed tackle, put the cover defence under pressure. And Otago, in the form of this bloke, were able to exploit it.
Well, let's see. This is his most difficult kick of the night, but it's 27-18 all of a sudden. Not that time. First miss of the night. And this doesn't look too good for Daniel Braid leaving the field.
Look, in the first half he was troubled by an elbow injury, heavy strapping on his elbow there, so he's not going to continue on the side. Va'a will take his place.
Well, it's a good in and out, isn't it? Watkins and Duadua still should have got him. But boy, Dixon had a bit of work to do and did it well.
Couple more changes. Ta'ava'o's gone, and he's replaced in jersey 23 by Charlie Faumoina. And Falialiti, jersey 20, is on.
Looks like Case Muse has left the field too, but Rob Verbuckle there taking it down from the kickoff, and Otago pouring forward again from the high kick. Wakasan Duadua comes forward, doesn't take it cleanly, but the wheels are falling off for Auckland, and here come Otago again. Ioane can't keep his hands off the ball. Floated wide, Popoali'i puts on the jets, tries to get past Rokotoko, well defended.
Well, it's probably just as well it was Rokotoko against him, to be honest.
Oh boy, that is not a good look. He's had a real smack around the eye there, and Daniel Braid. Just to say they've got, well, Aulika's just coming back on to restore the full complement, but who needs 15 men on the field when you've got TJ Ioane doing the work of 2?
Oh,
he's been smashing threes. And this is where it happened. Boy, he's done some damage, hasn't he, since he's come on in more ways than one. Maybe a finger in the eye. Oh, yeah, from his teammate, Haddon. That didn't look very straight. But taken down by Chris Lowry.
Last week.
Still got the yellow card up there, but I'm pretty sure that our league, yes he is, he's back out there, so they're restored to a full complement. The only damage has really been done to Auckland since he's been off. And brilliantly taken by Popoali, and he scores! What a ripper!
well, this is turning into a bit of a rout. And so the excitement's with Otago at the moment. 3 very quick tries they've scored. And this man, well, he deserves it, doesn't he? He's been electric every time he's got the ball. Beats not only the first defender, but often the second and third. And there's a little top kick by Avasa that pitched poorly for Auckland, but into the hands of this man, Popoali. And boy, with only one man to beat, he was always going to score.
Well, when you got your momentum, everything seems to go your way, and now it's the bounce of the ball in Otago's favour. But then you've got to have a bloke of this ability to finish it all off, and he's had an impressive night.
Well, there were 3 or 4 players zoning in on the ball, and suddenly he had it and he was gone. And Anscombe came across, but he just backed himself. He had the ball tucked under his right hand, but he backed himself.
What do you say about chip kicks in your own half? Because that's effectively what Avasa did.
So Dixon again from Whiteout, but suddenly 32-18. And this one is away again. So no conversions of those 2 tries. But Otago have got 3 tries now. So not only are they closing in on what would be an historic win, but they're looking at a try-scoring bonus in a match against a team from the Premiership. But there's still plenty of time to play. 17 minutes to go, and Otago have had it in their fingertips in the past and haven't been able to finish the job off. Tom Donnelly's got about a 10-metre head start on this chase. And Wagasa Duadua tries to thread his way through, but Otago, you can sense they've got the bit between the teeth now. Parks runs hard. Tackle made by Donnelly. Otago quickly in to try and get hands on the ball and at least slow it down. Faliali'i.
He released.
And Jubeir's got over this and he's pinched it. Great work from the captain. And look out, yes, it's now Verbuckle moving it on. Giddens puts the kick ahead. And one of the Otago players down in back play. Well, Joe Rokothoko tries to spark a counter-attack. And Anscombe in the end looks for a settling kick to drive them back into the 22. Otago probably won't mind that. Their line-out's been working okay. Just one or two walking wounded out there at the moment, Richard.
Yeah, there certainly are. Plenty of activity. Grant asked before if there was much activity on the bench. Well, it's all happening now. Otago trying to get Johnny Legg on for Sean Romans in jersey 20. And the conversion for the last Otago try was being taken. Nathan Hughes took the field in jersey 18 for Auckland. And now we've got in jersey 22 Hayden Parker. Jersey 22 for Auckland is George Maola.
And Piers Francis out there as well, so Teddy Stanaway leaves it. This is Piers Francis, the young English player, now playing with the Marist Club in Auckland. And they've got a penalty, so 32-18, 15 to go. As Winston Stanley has a word with Dr. Stephen Kara. Got a few injuries to contend with in this game now too, have Auckland. Got a game against Wellington coming up on Saturday. But they've got their hands full of Otago at the moment. And
never mind next week.
Yeah, and just a reminder that this is a game between Auckland, a team in the Premier Division, or the Premiership, and Otago from the Championship. And of course, any points you can score off a team in the division above you, that's a huge bonus in your attempts to win the championship and gain promotion to the First Division or the Premier Division for next year. And this has been knocked on by Auckland.
Well, they're just playing smart rugby, Otago. Just getting the go for when they need to. They're kicking well, they're pressuring kicks, and when they get the opportunity, they're taking points. Just smart, clinical, settled football.
Well, they've had more than their fair share of possession too, haven't they, Grant, in the second 40 minutes? Auckland just haven't had the opportunity to build up anything because they just haven't had possession of the ball. That substitution that I mentioned before had halfbacks taking place for Otago, so Johnny Legg, jersey 20.
Pause. Engage.
Well, Romans has had a good game. Can Legg come out and close it out? Tinga running strongly onto it, looking to get the fend going. Wata made the tackle and the ball's gone loose. Still there. Here's Buxton Popoli'i again. Over the touchline it goes. Boy, you've got to watch out for him. He is in lethal form. It looks like he might be struggling a little bit, Richard. I wonder whether he's taken a bit of a knock. Looking just a little laboured as he runs across to the far side, but he's done some damage.
Yeah, he might be tired, Tony. He's done a fair amount of work. McCartney in 16, Poliasi Manu in 17 for Auckland.
Well, they've come from a way back to win games against Otago at Eden Park in the past and deny the Southerners a famous victory. But at the moment, the momentum is still very much with the blue and gold of Otago. The ball's been ripped away by Hughes. Auckland to be looking to strike back pretty smartly. Now Piers Francis with the kick. Well, it's a nice kick. Tries play down inside the 22 where Popoli'i is definitely struggling a bit over on that side.
Well, Auckland is still prepared to play field position, which at this stage is okay.
That was Piers Francis, 21-year-old, plays or comes from the Maidstone Club in Kent. Pretty tidy player too. Heads Rokothoko. Well, he scored 2 tries early on in the game that looked to be getting Auckland on the path to a victory, but well ahead of them now. And Francis trying to crash it up in midfield, meets some solid defence. This time they get a penalty.
I want you to release.
They need to go to the corner here, Auckland. 3 won't be anywhere near enough, so Anscombe needs to try and get this as close to the goal line as possible.
And it's a 14-point margin, so they'd need 2 converted tries to draw level.
He's done pretty well too. He's done it about 6 metres out, so that's a pretty good start.
And this will bring Papali night to the end, fellas. He is no good. Replaced in jersey 21, Jaden Spence.
Also another young player, this fellow here out of Dunstan High School in Alexandra, and also a very good rower. You can lob it down to the back where it's been knocked down untidily though by Chris Lowry. Knocked on though by Otago, so Auckland will get a scrum feed. There's a few more precious seconds ticked by. Tom Donnelly again trying to get up and disrupt.
Well, you would think that if Auckland have any chance in this match from this play here off the scrum, they need to score. So, isn't that interesting? Auckland had a lot of pressure in the opposition 22, and yet the scoreboard's the complete reversal of that.
Into the last 10 minutes at Eden Park. Otago leading Auckland 32-18. Falialiti gets it away to Anscombe. Moata coming in on the chop. Here it is for Auckland. Hughes surging towards the line. And now having a crash is Charlie Famoina, but he's been sent back. Polwood over the ball. So they're going to try and hit it up the hard way. They're very close here. And this one might go to the TMO. Looks like it could be a try here. Just trying to see who comes up with the ball.
Can you give me any reason not to award a try, please?
Yes, I think he's pretty satisfied. Well, this could be the chance that they were looking for. Manu, I think it is, who's got it over.
So the call is, can you give me any reason not to award the try? I'll just see.
Chris Morgan with the call. Well, it's how it's phrased. It's so important. He doesn't really have to see the ball. What he's being asked to see is, can you see it being held up? Can you see it being knocked on? If not, I think it's a try. That's the and that's a.
Well, unless it's clearly short.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Try it is. So Auckland have given themselves a chance. They needed to score, and they have, and they need this kick to go over from Anscombe.
Well, there's still plenty of time now. There's good 9 minutes left in this match. But this kick is important.
Anscombe is about 16 in from touch and makes no mistake. Not likely to from there. So Manu's try is converted, and it's 32-25. Still 7 points in it. Poliasi Manu, the man who got it over the line. Replacement prop.
You're dead right, Tony. How important is the question that the TMO has asked?
I don't think there's any doubt about the decision. Oh, Otago have got it. Some nice work. Rob Verbuckle, since coming on, has done some really quality work from the kickoffs. Even Joubert charges at them. They'll just look to work the clock away. Oh, they've got a penalty. Auckland didn't roll away, and straight away now they give Otago a chance to put it perhaps beyond reach.
Yeah, just what Otago wanted and what Auckland didn't need. So important when you've scored points to make sure you secure the ball.
It was Polwood who was driving through the middle.
Pick a couple of them there, probably.
Yeah, one on the ground too. So Dixon, how's the breeze at the moment, Richard? Still there?
No, none right now.
Could change.
Well, yeah, it could change.
It is
in
Auckland.
the way this guy's kicking though, Tony.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to affect him any way whatsoever.
Well, the two that he's missed have been from wide out, wide angle conversions. Everything else he's had on target, and this would take it out to a 10-point lead, and he would have about 7 minutes still to play. He's got to get it first. Big points these for Otago. And he likes it. Oh, it's hit the post. Well, he turned and started heading back towards his own half, thinking the kick was going over, but it hasn't gone over.
I'll tell you what, Tony, when he was turning, he was still looking. He was never very confident. So, as a kicker, you know when it's near and upright. He could see it. See, he starts it with a right to left, and then it starts to go back the other way. You can see him there, always just looking.
Otago have got it from the line out, but it's not straight. Well, we've seen it before. Otago going into the last 10 minutes with a healthy lead. It happened to, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. That looked as though they were going to do it finally, but Auckland came storming back. Well, he's called that not straight.
So Rockison Duadu is again across from the blind side, tucked in behind Anscombe.
Pause. Engage.
Otago trying to put a bit of pressure on, but Faliali gets it away to Anscombe, looks for a runner, finds Rockison Duadu, skips out of the first tackle, unloads a brilliant pass away to Parks. Picked up by Otago now. Here come Auckland. Anscombe, they look to get it wide. Francis moves it on. Manu, well, needed to let that go. Ioane made the tackle. Auckland still have it. McCartney leaves it behind him. Charlie Famoina tackled by Brown. McCartney again. They're on the 22. Now Hughes tries to make a metre around the fringe. Faliali'i, off it goes. Anscombe into midfield. Polwart crashing onto it. Ball squirts out loose. Anscombe has it again. Moves it on. Moata turns it back in field. Otago. Lowry into the corner. No, it's a forward pass, is it? Yes. It's a forward pass. The try won't count. Oh, she doesn't like it. She's not happy.
Well, Garrett Williamson was in a great position to rule on this. So, of course, he doesn't get the benefit about where to see. So it's Mola who made the break to Otago.
Yeah, that was called forward.
Was that Ben Skeen who called it?
Oh, I think they both agreed.
It was probably right, I think. They didn't have the best camera angle to see it, but Williamson was in a great position.
Well, Otago have dodged one there.
Pushing straight through, please. Crouch.
Well,
Touch.
Otago scrum had a slight edge all night. Can Auckland put some pressure on them? They do try and turn it around too. And it's going to be a scrum feed to Auckland.
Well, entirely new front row, Tony, from the beginning of this match for Auckland. And they've certainly come out. And when needed, this is massive.
Oh, you'd see them really working on the wheel. And so they'll get a scrum feed. That's their best scrum of the night, and what a time to come up with it. Into the last 4 minutes, Otago desperately hanging on to the 7-point lead. They've dodged one bullet. Can they dodge another? Or can Auckland come from behind?
Pause. Engage.
This time Otago put the heat on. But it's there for Faliali'i. Off it goes to Anscombe. Has a little dart. Back it comes to Faliali'i, trying to wriggle his way through. Anscombe has to go in and play halfback. Off it goes to Lowry. Denied a moment or so ago. Coming through and pinching it was Alika. And now it's been knocked on by Auckland. Well, Alika, that time quite within his rights, gets a priceless steal for Otago.
He just reached over, didn't he? He judged it perfectly. It was pretty clear what Auckland were up to. They were going to try and rumble it amongst the forwards. Yeah, no problem at all. No ruck formed. Over he goes. And it was Auckland who lost the ball forward there.
Well, you could credit him with great judgment, or he was going to go after it, come hell or high water, and he got it.
Well, the ball has sort of squirted to the side a bit, hadn't it? So that gave him the opportunity.
Last Otago feed, Auckland came up with a great scrum. Can they come up with another one?
Engage!
Oh, they can't.
Lucy, he stepped out and went in.
And the man penalised is Poliasi Manu, whose try looked as though it had given Auckland great hope, but maybe that penalty might have spelt the end of their chances, at least of winning the game. They could still get a draw in the time left, but I just don't know that there's enough time for Auckland to win it.
Tony Brown's in no hurry, is he?
not if Tony Brown's got anything to do with it.
So Manu was accused of stepping out and then trying to push around.
It's a fine line, isn't it?
Here we go.
Yeah, that left leg goes out, and that was a giveaway. That was enough for Garrett.
Yeah, destabilised the scrum.
He's got to go straight.
And look at Joubert, the captain, standing ovation, and nicely taken down. Verbuckle has had great impact off the bench, although Auckland threatening to drive over the top of it. Now they've got it where they want it. McGugan just need to be careful that they do it as a unit. Players don't want to get isolated. Auckland will look for the moment to try and counter-ruck. Joubert charges at them again. Into the last minute. Otago looking to end a 35-year drought at Eden Park.
19 last week.
They've still got it. 30 seconds left to go. It's been a long time coming, this. Alika, well, he's been one of the stars, and he might be one of the last blokes in this game to get his hands on the ball. Just calling his teammates around. No, he's left it for Ioane, the man whose try really sparked this tremendous second half performance. Auckland initially sensing a turnover there, but they've still got a Verbuckle. What an impact he's had. Time just about up. The drought just about over for Otago. Are they going to get their hands on the Lynn Colling Trophy for the first time? There's the siren. It's been a long time coming. Well, Jamie McGugan wants to have one more crack at it. Auckland can sense a turnover. Oh, they've got a penalty. That's the end of it. And look at the smile on Case Mew's face. The man brought up in Auckland, but he's become a real Southern man. And Tony Brown, for the first time since the Highlanders did it a long time ago, tastes victory at Eden Park. (1976) it was. The drought is broken. Otago score a famous win.
Well, good on them. It's been a long time coming. At half-time, I sensed that Auckland were the side that maybe had the firepower in the second half. They certainly had slightly the better of the first half. But it was Otago who came out with all